We're going to start our Dean Russo inspired animal portraits by choosing an animal that I have listed, and then we're going to use a black marker to trace the details of your animal. I would recommend starting with the eyes if they're visible, and then working on the outline of your animal. So you want to outline their ears, their nose, their mouth. Work very slowly and carefully to get your accurate details. The dog that I chose has some color marks on it that I knew I wanted to include in my work. So I'm going to outline the color marks on his face and his ears to make them pop out as well. Each one of these pictures has the location that the dog is at because these are all shelter animals, and it also has the name of the dog or cat that you're choosing. So once you guys are done tracing on this paper, then you're going to write your name and your class code on the back. Just make sure that you're really taking your time tracing and outlining your animal. We want nice, neat lines. You can't erase these markers, so take your time, make a nice thick line so that we can see it when we go to trace onto our good copies. If your dog is really, or your cat is really scruffy, has a lot of fur sticking off, try to capture that in your outlines. Give it a little squiggle to your line to make them look nice and fluffy. After your animal's outline, you're going to get a blank piece of white paper that I want you to write your name, your class code, and then the name of your animal and the location they're listed at. All of those things are going to be written on the animal portrait that you have, but write it on your paper as well. Then we're going to be using our tablets sort of as light tables. So you're going to get a pencil and we're going to lay our white paper over top of the picture of our animal that we just outlined. And then our bright tablet screens are going to help us very lightly trace our animal onto our fresh white piece of paper. I started by lining up the bottom of my animal picture with the bottom of my fresh white paper, just so my animal wasn't floating in the middle of my paper. So line it up with the bottom, and then as lightly as possible, we're going to trace the black lines that you just created. If you push down hard, you will break your tablet screen. So if you're more comfortable maybe leaning against the window to get light, having a friend help you hold it, then that's okay as well. But if we have a nice dark room, we can lay our papers on our tablets and we should be able to lightly trace. If you mess up, pull your paper up, erase it. It's not the end of the world. We're drawing very lightly with a pencil so that we can erase. But get all of those black lines that you traced on your photograph transferred over to your white paper so that we can begin adding in some designs.